I'm Elisa Parker. It is the Wild and Scenic Film Festival. We are based in downtown Nevada City and also Grass Valley, California. And it is a hub. It serves as a hub for people all over the world who are doing extraordinary things to make a difference for our planet and doing much of that through story and community engagement. So we show our films and we also have panels and workshops. Two of our guests here today that I'm so thrilled to be joining us here. We have Laura and Benny Filmore, and they had a panel discussion earlier, and it is their first time to Wild and Scenic. So welcome, first of all. It's wonderful to have you both here with us.
Thank you.
So you join us from Gardnerville, Nevada,
Yes.
on the other side of the Sierras.
Yes.
And when we were off camera, you were mentioning that, Benny, you are serving both in the tribes with the Nisenan and the Washoe.
That's correct.
Is that common to be incorporated with two different tribes?
I think so. There was neighboring tribes throughout history, and definitely picked up different relationships. And my mother and father were really proud of their back history and the tribes that they were from, and getting together was something that they think was probably semi-traditional and whatnot, and it brought us to be on this earth together. And like I say, I'm a member of the Washoe tribe of Nevada and California. It was my mother's side. She was a fluent Washoe speaker, and my father was from down this area, Forest Hill, Todd's Valley area, and he was Nishinan, and also his mother was Swedish, and that's kind of how they got together and how I came about. And I'm very proud to be from both sides of this mountain, and learning more about it through my years now, and we are very proud to be from this area.
Yeah. It's a great place to be from, and to see from both sides of the Sierras is quite a gift, I must say, as well. So much of, especially I'm realizing, having children who are in their teens or young adults, and and working with them around activism, right? And now it's there. I love seeing the energy, and then the other thing I'm aware of too is really understanding where we came from and our history and our roots, and helping to integrate those two as how we show up. Can you both speak to that a little bit, because you are doing work with youth? Talk about what you're doing with them, and also the importance, like you just mentioned as well, Benny, and how carrying forth those traditions and culture through your parents. And so what does that look like right now in the work you're doing with youth?
My wife is a teacher and has been an art teacher for years, and then now she's recently got a job with Alpine County Education, Woodford, California. And the Washoe tribe is pretty much centrally located around with Lake Tahoe, say, as the center. Homelands go all the way up to Susanville to the north, to Pyramid Lake to the east, say Mono Lake to the south, and then over to this area, to the foothills of the California side. We've lived in that area for tens of thousands of years, and been excluded since contact and taken out of our traditional lands and put in a couple of small reservations in Nevada and California. And recent times we're really trying to empower our children and let them know where their traditional lands are from, and teaching them the language and the culture and history of our lands, and trying to empower them. And maybe you can speak on
Laura,
that
what
a
is
little
that?
bit.
What is that looking like now, and how you're sharing and engaging the youth?
So the most important thing, I think, or one of the most important things, is language renewal amongst tribes, and that gives the kids a chance to really be able to understand and express themselves in their own homeland. Our kids, we had a language immersion school on the reservation, and so we brought them up there. and taught them there. And then now, as Woodford's Indian Education Director, today I'm also riding around with a whole new crop of kids. And yesterday we went on a field trip, and I told them, this is all your homeland. The entire time that we're going to be in the car, you know, this is your homeland. These are your lands. And so I had a little 6-year-old in the back seat, and she was saying, this is our land. This is our land. This is our land. And it just is so cool, because I don't think we told our kids that explicitly. They were sort of raised knowing that. But when you reconnect people with the homeland, then you have the ability to have Indigenous leadership for the future who really knows and appreciates, not as a sense of ownership, but as a sense of responsibility towards the kinship of all things.
Right.
And so that's what we're interested in passing on to the next generation. And for myself, I can see that we're in our 60s, so
Right.
we can see the end of the light at the tunnel at the level that there's an immediacy to kind of imparting some of these things. That's
Right.
okay. So I think that brings us to a place now where it seems even more precious.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Jen. I know I've been talking.
You need some water.
Do you want us to start over with that question? Catherine, can you come on? Yep, please. So sorry,
That's okay.
but we'll pause. I'm going to ask you that again. Okay.
Falls now, I'll be impressed.
If it falls now, I'm going to rate it.
Was the audio picking up, or do we need to?
No, the microphone.
Okay. All right. We'll stop and edit that out too.
Okay.
Can you both speak to a little bit about your involvement in Wild and Scenic and what your discussion was on today?
So we're part of an organization, the Center for the Study of the Force Majeure, and we got one of the upstate California grants, California Corps. It was art money that's dedicated to artists post-pandemic by the state of California. It's something like WPA monies from the 30s to really empower artists to go back to work. So after the Depression, obviously, a lot of people were starving and just hadn't been able to do their regular gigs. So we have the legacy of that work that's from, I mean, we all remember Dorothea Lange or the FSA photographers, the murals that are all over the country. So that's a similar kind of impetus for this program. Our project is called Stewarding Knowledges, and it's specifically to create future gardens within the Washoe homeland and Sage-Hen, Nevada, and then in Placer County. And we think we're going to be working at the Marion Stanberg collection. It's the Gatekeepers Museum in Tahoe City.
That's amazing.
That's a basketry museum because the art form amongst the Washoe people is basketry.
That's amazing. So sorry.
That's okay.
We'll have to edit all this part. Sorry about that. Apologies.
It's okay.
It's just like been talking all day. That sounds amazing.
Thank you.
I was just talking with my friend about that, who's the director at California Arts Council,
Yeah.
Julie Baker.
She was at okay. Cool.
She was just informing me about that and how many different artists and musicians were receiving these. It's more than stipends, but it was several $1,000s a month,
Right.
and how substantial that is. And I think it's so important right now, too, with giving effort and energy to the creative arts. And that is so important because that really is what shapes our culture. And the storytelling is so important as part of that. And the work that you're doing with the youth is so essential. What is it that you want everyone to know right now? We're focused on solutions and how we can be both supportive about the work that you're doing and also just for each of us and engaging in our own way to show up in the best way we can through our own stories.
So water is life, and that comes out of Standing Rock. My whole family was at Standing Rock. He was at Standing Rock. You know, the land is medicine as well. Fire is medicine for the land. So I think that our central message is a kind of return to the natural world and to the kinship that was once natural in these places. And I think wild and scenic is a beautiful kind of metaphor for that in a sense, and really rededicating our lives to the future of the planet and to the health of the planet. Fire brings water, low intensity fire. He was on a fire yesterday, a cultural fire, as an elder speaker who was also then praying beforehand and blessing the firefighters. So it's a daily part of our lives to think about that kinship in the environment and that interrelationship. And then to bring as many people into that awareness for the future as possible, so that we understand that because water is life, I guess, and because in the Intermountain West, in a fire-adapted landscape, we need to care for this place in the traditional ways. So I always say that traditional ecological knowledge isn't something to be discovered, but is instead something that we already know. We already know that good fire needs to be applied to a fire-adapted landscape.
Right.
So not being afraid of catastrophic fire, but instead embracing that future of small, low-intensity fires to take care of this place. If we do that, then our children will have a place where there's enough water for the future.
It is all the elements are integral into the sustainability of both our planets and for ourselves, even as human beings and living, hopefully with grace and ease on this planet. But I appreciate you both, and it was wonderful to have you here, and welcome to Wild and Scenic, and thank you for everything that you're doing, and keep those, keeping the stories alive. I'm Elisa Parker. I want to thank Laura and Benny for being here today. And are you going to be doing anything else at the festival?
No, not this year.
Just connecting and being with others. And that is a part. And as we are all, we can all serve as water keepers. And Circle was born out of protecting our local watershed, the Yuba River. And it is a key part of why we are all here today. So learn more about Circle, and of course, be more engaged in the work they're doing. And of course, Wild and Scenic. I'm Elisa Parker, and we will be right back.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm so sorry. Sometimes talking for